A bit of talk about Chinese company Alibaba expected to make a stock market splash on Friday.
Yeah, they're going to be listing their shares on the New York Stock Exchange from Friday. Expected to be the biggest stock market launch in history, raising up to $25 billion. That's significantly more than, for example, Facebook's $16 billion back in 2012. Now, Alibaba is China's equivalent of Amazon, eBay and PayPal and dominates the market there. The key figure behind the company is its founder, Jack Ma, and Oliver Farry's been looking at his story.
Jack Ma is China's true technology pioneer and very much a maverick. Having started off as an English teacher, Ma started his first online venture after discovering the internet on a trip to the US in 1995. 4 years later, he set up Alibaba, which would grow to become the world's biggest online retailer. Ma is a risk-taker with an unassuming personality.
Jack Ma, when you see him and spend time in his company and see how he runs his businesses, is really the opposite of what you expect from big Chinese bosses, who are often very arrogant and proud of their success. He's a little guy, not much more than 5 foot, humble. He does things his own way.
Jack Ma first saw off eBay in the Chinese market, and now Alibaba boasts 500 million users, half of them in China, making it bigger than Amazon and eBay combined. The company's strength lies in combining the services offered by those two competitors, and it also has payment and wholesale network services. Alibaba's international efforts to go public met an initial setback when Hong Kong's stock exchange rules prevented the company from being floated, but its CEO is undeterred. Jack Ma owns an 8.9% stake in the company and has a net worth of almost 17 billion euros. But he is not holding on to it all, having already established himself as one of China's chief philanthropists.
Now to the currency markets next. The pound has been hit in recent weeks by fears of Scotland voting for independence on referendum day. It's trading slightly up, in fact, £1 trading for just under $1.63. It is worth noting, though, that the bets on volatility for the pound over the next 24 hours have reached a record high if you're into financial betting. Over on the stock markets, the FTSE 100 in London opening flat, as you can see there. In Germany, the company Bayer up 5% after announced it was to hive off its plastics business. A positive start here in Paris as well on the markets. Over in Asia, a bit more mixed picture. The Hang Seng in Hong Kong losing much of yesterday's gains. In South Korea, the Hyundai is down by around 9% after it outbid Samsung for a site in the Gangnam area of Seoul. It's to pay $9.6 billion for the site, which is 80,000 square metres.
OK, Stephen, time for some companies news now, starting with airline EasyJet.
Yeah, the low-cost carrier is to boost its payout to shareholders from next month. The airline's to increase its payment ratio to 40% of net profit. It's also confirmed the purchase of 27 new Airbus jets, which will be delivered between next year and 2018. And the chief executive of News Corp has accused Google of being a platform of piracy. Robert Thompson made the comments in a letter to the EU's competition commissioner, who's examining a settlement with the internet giant over the way it displays search results. News Corp, which owns newspapers like the Wall Street Journal and the London Times, said their content is vulnerable to exploitation by Google.
Meanwhile, here in France, another tricky day if you're planning on flying with Air France.
That's right, it's the 4th day of the strike by pilots at Air France. Almost 60% of flights by the company cancelled yet again. That's despite a call from the French Prime Minister to end the dispute. Now, the unions say pilots remain committed to the stoppage, which is over the lesser pay and working conditions being offered to their counterparts at Air France's low-cost carrier Transavia. Now, they want the same conditions for all pilots in the group, but Air France's chief executive says that's not possible.
Why am I saying no to a one-contract system? It's not because it's against my principles. It's because the way Air France operates and its contracts, they work well for Air France. It's a group with an international history, one that doesn't fit the low-cost model. Nowhere in the world have the operations or contracts of a major airline been successfully applied to develop a low-cost company. It's never happened.
Finally, Stephen, just time for some news from the world of fizzy drinks. Coca-Cola bringing back one which they last produced more than 10 years ago. I've never tried it. Tell us about it.
Yeah, this is a drink called Surge, which I don't know if it made it to this part of the world, which might be the reason.
Named after Gainsbourg?
We've never... Very possibly. Well, it was discontinued by Coca-Cola in 2002, but after a sustained internet campaign over the past 2 years, its legions of online fans were delighted to see that Coca-Cola brought it back. It's the first time in Coca-Cola's history that they've revived a product that they had previously discontinued. They sold 12 packs exclusively on Amazon for $14 a piece. The entire stock sold out within 2 hours of going on sale, and the drink is now being resold on Amazon online for prices reaching up to $245 for 12 cans. The comments on the Amazon site are extremely entertaining if you want to read them, including one saying, "I just spent $45 in a soda and I'm not even mad." I can see Florence Villamino out of the corner of my eyes shaking her head.
I remember Surge. It's pretty gross, I must admit, but if you want to pay $250 for it, be my guest.
I don't. Stephen, thank you very much. As you may have noticed, Flo is with us for the press review. The international papers today, as you'd expect, Florence, fascinated by the Scottish referendum.
Absolutely. It's the hot topic in the press across the world today. Let's start with the Scottish press. You can definitely feel the excitement. The Herald